Everything is balanced quite precariously at the moment, and it could tipple over any second. But there's a lot of care being taken. There's a lot of protection being given. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. At the moment, with everything that's going on in the sky, it's worth looking at your Saturn and Jupiter placements. There's a link in the description down below if you need to work out your birth chart. Now, this is a general reading, so general reading rules apply. You know, timing's not absolute, roles can be reversed, blah, blah, blah. You know the plot if you've come to this video. But importantly, this reading either is for you or it isn't. You know, it's a singular reading. There's a past and a present. If the past and the present fit, great, I'm doing my job. If the past and the present don't fit, it's for somebody else. Don't worry about it. Click off and go on to another one of your placements or another video or some of the other tarot readers on YouTube, because there's some great talent on there, on here even. Okay, so let me bring up the cards. And in a moment, you should see my shuffle video appear here. Now, the other thing that I want to say, I forgot to say it, think of a question. Pause the video, think of all the questions that are around you at the moment, and just focus on one of them, because energy in, energy out. But be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer whatever they want to answer. Okay, but yeah, focus on the question. And now that you've done that, I'll crack on with the cards. So, Scorpio, it's not very often I get music as I am looking at the cards, but as I was looking at your current situation and how you're feeling, I got the Queen lyric, "Waiting for the Hammer to Fall." I can't even remember particularly which Queen song that's out of it, but I could hear that, just one thing distinctly, and that fits because we have the Hanged Man as the how you are feeling, which is you feel like some of your dreams and resources are slipping away at the moment. But more importantly, there's all this growth around you, and all you can do is sit and watch. So I think that there's things growing around you that you may be, some things are good, some things are bad, but there's a lot of growth and change around you in both directions. We have Judgment, Shango, out of the Afro-Brazilian Tarot. So this is, you come into a crunch time, and the Emperor. So 3 major arcana cards for how you are feeling, and this is obviously an important time to you. Now, no surprise really, because for the direct present, we have a Tower, or the Tower, a Tower moment, and the Magician. So there's knowledge that you are gaining. You are having to exercise your power at the moment, but it's almost like you're in a holding pattern, 4 of Swords. You need to be aware of things coming at you from all directions. You need that 360 awareness. You could do with Daredevil's radar sense, and maybe a little cyberjack plug in the back of your neck to plug into the internet to check things that are coming in that direction as well. Everything is balanced quite precariously at the moment, and it could tipple over any second, but there's a lot of care being taken. There's a lot of protection being given, and you are standing your ground. It's almost like you're wanting to, well, this is whichever particular Greek hero with the Perseus, with the Medusa head on a shield, turning his enemies to stone. But more importantly, 7 of Pentacles. So you're standing your ground, you're keeping your options open, but you're assessing what you have achieved so far. I was getting a very Seven of Wands vibe from this, but to be honest, it is a very Seven of Wands vibey card in this particular deck. But there's definitely that standing your ground, making sure that where you are is quite firm, quite secure. Because we have the Ace of Wands and Death. There's a lot of change going on around you, but there's also a lot of growth. And I feel like you may be a little unnerved by all this change that's going on around you. But I want to say you're in the right place, because when I was dealing all the Oracle cards, the one that flipped over from the Angelarium, beautiful cards, these. Keter, the crown, or Kether, I would know it as. Spirituality. Let me move it so you can see it without it reflecting on. Absolutely beautiful cards, these. Oh, a bit too much glow there. But indicative of guidance, spiritual guidance. It's almost like you have been guided to be where you are right now. You are in perfectly the right place. With all those major arcanas, you are in perfectly the right place to either build a springboard for your next life, for your next part of life, sorry, not your next life, for your next chapter of life, or you're having quite a lesson being delivered to. But I feel really warm about that lesson. This is a lesson that you're going to like, even though it all seems a little chaotic at the moment, because it is something that you have been trying to build yourself, that you were surging ahead with. And whatever this project, whether it's a new relationship, a new job, some form of personal development thing that you're working on, you were beginning to soar with it. You were beginning to reach the heights. And then all of a sudden, whoa, it's like when you're trampolining. If you bounce to the point where you keep your balance. If you bounce too high, you lose your balance. And this card, Two of Pentacles, balance, is Icarus, who had to balance his will to fly with not getting too close to the sun so his wings don't melt and he falls to his death. Oh, and beneath that, Temperance. So, yeah, things have slowed down. Things have, what you can do, although you are ready to act, as we saw with that Magician, and you're ready to make lots of decisions, that Four of Swords indicated that things have, almost like the calm before the storm, Shango being the storm. But yeah, two major arcana there from the Orishas. There's so there was news that came to you that suddenly made you go, whoa. And it's almost like, think of Wacky Races, when there's some cartoon character scootling along, clouds of dust behind them, and suddenly have to skid to a halt. And that's how you feel, that you've suddenly had to skid to a halt because, oh my God, this tower that I am carrying is going to collapse any second if I keep moving ahead right now. That's fine. Okay. By the amount of activity that has been recently, let's have a look into the clarifiers here. The amount of activity there has been recently, you could probably do with your body could probably do with a moment to go, I'll just stand here for a moment. I'll just relax for a second. You know, your brain's obviously racing 19 to the dozen, but give your body a rest for a couple, for a day or two. Seven of Swords, Queen of Wands. Whatever you were building, you were inspired by Spirit to do it. However you got the idea, is Spirit giving you that little nudge and flick and say, yeah, that way, go on, that way. But I do feel that there is Seven of Swords is normally lies and deception, isn't it? And there may be something in the starting of this current situation where you had been told a lie, and this news is what has suddenly gone, oh, but I was basing at least 20% of what I'm doing on that one fact, and now I found out that that fact isn't true. And that might be what's caused the wacky race's halt. But I feel like it doesn't really matter. This is something that I want to say. Yeah, you've got to reevaluate everything, but most of it will be, yeah, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. That one needs some alteration in light of what I've learned. So it's not as bad as you think. Because like I say, this tower moment, it's a tower under construction. And bear in mind, we've got the construction in this Five of Cups here. This Five of Cups is someone using what is left to build what they want to build. There may be a sense of pain and loss that has started that process, but they are using those two cups that remain upright. They are not worried, or, well, they probably are worried about the three that knocked over, but you can't do anything about it. It's spilt milk now. Let's carry on with what we have got. But this tower moment that you're in right now, the tower is under construction, but being carried by a giant. Very, very caring giant. A very, very, she looks proud. She looks really pleased with what has been accomplished so far. She doesn't want to trip over her feet and drop it. Although there is that risk at the moment, as there always is with a tower moment. But I feel that tower moment has come from your, from this news that has come in. And yeah, it's not as bad as what you think. Aha. You were putting something right by setting on this path in the first place. There was a dream that was given to you that you laid plans for, or a dream that you developed. Maybe there's a Pisces influence here, but life was a little bit sparse due to something, due to some wound that was delivered to you or some decision that was made. I'll look into the more relevant past in a second. I know I'm working backwards at the moment. But whatever this path is that you're on at the moment, where you have been building and everything has screeched to a halt, you were putting things right. And you were putting things right with yourself, maybe because you had been in sort of the blast radius of some other putting right of something else that has affected your life, and that you weren't necessarily, I don't think this is justice against you. I think this is you recovering from the effects of some justice that has occurred that wasn't aimed at you, but also you going, right, let's make this right now. So the relevant past, this can be more distant, and this will be a lesson that you are using at the moment to guide your actions, for good or for ill. You know, this might be a good idea. It might be a lesson that you need to unlearn and try something different. King of Pentacles, the Fool, Six of Wands. Okay. So the King of Pentacles is out of the kings I was hearing on reading today. He's supposed to be the ideal man. But here it is creation. That Ace of Wands is bringing him into being, bringing himself into a whole new level, as we see here by the Fool. Ishu, God of nature. You had victory. You were defining the world by your will. You were coming into a whole new level of yourself. There were messages and signs that were encouraging this, and you were racing ahead. However, the burdens that you gained in this point became a little too cumbersome, a little too constricting. And even though they came to a point of completion, it's like the dream itself was a little, oh, is this really what I wanted? Is this really where I wanted to be? And that's when the Justice hits. We've got the Justice card twice here. There seems to be a lot of major arcana in this reading, so this is a really important time. So we've gone through there. We've gone through there. Let's have a look. Coming up. Yes, you need to prepare You need to prepare your defenses, but you also need to remember that you are steadfast. Here is that Seven of Wands energy that I was feeling. So, hey ho, never even noticed. But there's learning for you to do at the moment. So this news that's come, there's more thinking to do about this news that brought everything to a halt, because there's ramifications that you've not quite considered yet. And yeah, other people are hoping that you're going to come in as some form of rescuer and that you've got the strength to do it. But I don't think rescue is quite what you are aiming for. I think there is a matter of cutting something out due to whatever this lie is, and actually noticing, like a really stable Jenga tower, you've moved one brick and everything else stays where it is. That's the point where you're winning Jenga, not when you're losing. Bear in mind, Jenga tower, okay? So just don't cut too much out. Don't go overboard. I haven't seen a warning yet of don't go overboard, but it might be here. There is a burden that you are taking on, but you can map it out gently, okay, slowly. There is, you need to give certain things up to the universe, realize what you can control and what you can't control. But hard, gentle, stable, slow, careful work, targeted work will correct this situation, and you will be able to, the Emperor, what was the, we have the Emperor here, who, if I remember correctly, this is Aries, Mars, and there's that Capricorn energy with the goat stood behind him. But there is victory coming your way. Just bear in mind that there's a few things you're going to have to lose, and you might not be too happy with losing them, but nothing that you need is going to be taken away, because you feel bound at the moment. This, whatever this news was, it hurts. It, but it's sending you off on. Okay, now I'm going to have to check the book to recognise the Orisha on this one, because as I said on a previous video, I'm still learning this tarot. So Ogun, Orisha of War and Iron. So the Emperor, yes, this is all. So we've got two emperors. We had another one somewhere as well, I think. This is all about what is your kingdom and what isn't. And it's if with the Three of Swords, you are feeling like this news hurt. But the truth of the matter is, you had to expose yourself to this. You had to expose yourself to this to this truth. Things are in a sort of suspended animation at the moment. Like I say, you can't act fast. Whereas this Knight of Wands here, there was a Knight of Swords here. Other people are expecting you to rush in. Don't rush in. Slowly, slowly. The Hanged Man from the Demon Possessed Tarot. Interestingly, lights corpse lights above graves and moves bodies so that the souls may be stolen. Bifrons. It's almost like you feel like parts of your dream have been tarnished and stolen from you. Yeah. And? Because the bits that you got left are great. The bits that you've got left glisten even more now, and you can replace anything where there's something missing. Like I said, when I use that Jenga tower, the tower should end up stable. So I assume you're going to push a brick back in to make it keep its place. Yeah. Eight of Wands. When the solution solution to this comes, it will come fast. But you are not the one to rush. Okay, you tackle everything slowly, methodically, bit by bit by bit, map it out, plan out your plan of attack. Attack is probably the wrong word, but what you're going to do to secure your kingdom, your fiefdom. There's whether this is a project that you're running, a business that you're running, a relationship that you're running, some form of project, whatever that is, personal, community, in the world, in work, in your soul, whatever. This judgment is coming, and you just have to plan for, what do I do once all this is sorted out? But you only slowly sort things out, because there's obviously something coming in from outside that will just solve everything like that. So, because on the final outcome card, we have the Ten of Swords, the end of torment, the Ace of Pentacles, so you're in a good, fine position, and the Lovers. So that there is a choice that you can accept this end of torment or not. So like I say, just work slowly to get through everything. There's these two cards here are a possible future. Well, I say two cards, two piles. Follow your intuition and, another major arcana. Follow your intuition because you have the strength to deal with any further news. And I think there might be some further news because of that, everything suddenly going, right, solved, sorted. And that was Yansa, Orisha of the Wind and Storm. So Shango is the Orisha of Thunder. So yes, this is a tumultuous period. You need to just stand your ground, stand back, and mainly just get on with your own stuff. Don't let all this, whatever is going on around you, affect you. Just alter your plans very, very slightly. But most of your plans do not need altering, and focus on them. If you let that news knock you off balance, then you could have a Tower moment. But what I am getting mainly from these is delve into the underworld, delve into your underworld, your shadow side, that pain that you were feeling, you know that you've had to expose yourself to, get it over and done with, pass through that gateway, through, again, skill, work. I mean, what on earth have you been training for if it isn't facing and dealing with this? Simple as. The Tower will remain strong. So we have, let me just have a look. Well, that's an ace, but we have an inordinate amount of major arcana from the Orishas. From the Afro-Brazilian Tarot. Hopes and fears. Is there anything in the hopes and fears that I'm finding relevant? If you're in a relationship, it's going to be fine. It will weather this. Two of Cups. With Queen of Cups. Four of Swords. Yeah. Don't worry, a relationship within this will be fine, unless, of course, that's where the lie has come from, in which case, move on. But this feels more complicated than just an argument between lovers, to be honest. It feels like it touches far more areas of life than just a relationship. It could be an argument between lovers. If the lie has come from the lover, get rid. If the lie has come from outside, then you two will be fine. Right, so let's carry on. Because I want to check. We have the Fool, which is Ishu. We have Justice, which is Oba, who represents faith, belief, and honor. We have Temperance, who is Oshumer, the Orisha of the Rainbow. We have the Emperor, Ogun, or Ogun, I know him as, but Orisha of War and Iron. We have Shango, the Orisha of Thunder. We have the Tower. We have 11 Strength, which is Yansa, Isha of Wind and Storms, which I've already said. The gods are watching you. They've set all this up. Simple as they have set all this up. This is your testing time. I think part of the test is don't overreact. Part of the test is your discernment. And part of the test is for you to get over some form of pain, some form of crisis that you were feeling. Yes, the angel of serenity. I feel serene and tranquil when I accept who I am. Whatever this news is, it knocked you slightly off your feet. Certainly knocked you off balance. I think you need to realize that this news, whatever it is, doesn't affect who you are. Stand strong, be serene, change the things you can and accept the things that you can't, and just carry on working towards changing the things that you can. And just cut out the minimum, but the source of whatever that lie was. A new start is coming, but it is your time for assessing all the news around you. Okay, so I want to have a look at this. We have here, there is the force of war present in your life. Aries is making, because I saw Aries here as well, didn't I? Yeah, Aries is making himself present in your life. You don't have to take him up on it. And to be honest, when that big news, the next set of news that suddenly solves everything for you, when that comes in, that's the time that you may be going to war, and it's like one shot and it's over. You have the chance to be exceeding expectations at the moment. What is being challenged is your supremacy in your own life. Remain optimistic because a new start is coming. Tune into the portal of your own heart. Now, that's quite an important one because, as I say, this news knocked you off balance. And you're quite capable of dealing with this. What you need to be made aware of is that you're quite capable of dealing with this, because I think part of you is going, which is explains why it feels like you're in the middle of the storm and you can't do anything, that you are being bound and unable to act. But yes, you need to feel this pain to move on, and you decided it, because would I be right in saying that whatever this news is that came in, it comes from a question that you asked in the first place? And if you didn't want to know the answer, you shouldn't have asked the question. But you did want to know the answer. You do want to know the answer, and you will heal from this answer because it's more of a shock than a wound. Hope, love, and acceptance. Healing. Healing. Spend time near Sulis, bodies of water. Spend time near water such as a lake, river, or ocean to recharge your batteries. Remember what I was saying, that your body probably needs a couple of days rest with the amount of work that you've put in recently. You're a water sign. Take advantage. Yes, get near some water, a river, the beach, have long baths, whatever it takes, just for you to give emotions some sympathetic resonance with something around you. Think of a healing bath or a healing shower. Bring the emotions up while you're in the water and let the water drain away, taking the negative emotions away with it. Okay, so use it as a meditative time. Feel the emotions, then let them go. I know I sound very hippie here, but it is a really useful practice. Right at the moment, you are in solitude, but that's because you're being called to focus inward rather than all this outward focus that you've been doing recently. Surround yourself with protective energy. You have the strength and you are being guided. There is enlightenment in all of this process. You've had some, it's not finished. There is freedom coming out. There is freedom coming to you after this. But you are going to be facing the unknown, because everything is nicely mapped out until whatever it is that comes and gives that rapid resolution, where you have to make sure that you've just been spinning the plates that you need to, and fixing the things that you need to, and keeping the things going that needed going. But concealment is coming to an end. This is the goddess Hel, the Asgardian Norse goddess Hel, but she's coming out of the cave. Concealment is coming to an end here. This whole thing is designed to be an education for you. Okay, so like I say, the gods are watching you. Look within. Slow down the physical activity at the minute, because it's going to speed up again soon enough. There is no hurry. I know you feel like you need to act, but there is no hurry right now. You're a lot more stable than what you think you are. And this is, what, 28 minutes now? So I think I better shut up and leave you to it. Definitely check out your waxing moon reading. That may have some bearing on this. There, I will put one of them annoying end screen, oh no, this side. I'll put one of them annoying end screen things up in the last 5 seconds of the video. So in the meantime, if this means anything to you, click down below, press subscribe while you're there. Cheers, you'll be fine.